Hello viewers, welcome to Inside Out. Why are people choosing Satan over God Almighty? At first this question may sound extreme, even uncomfortable. Most people would never openly say they are choosing Satan. They don't worship him, they don't pray to him, and they don't consciously follow him. Yet when we look deeper, not at words but at actions, desires and decisions, we begin to see a different reality unfolding. The truth is simple, but difficult to accept. Choosing Satan is not always a loud, obvious decision. More often, it is quiet, subtle, and gradual. It happens when people choose darkness over light, self over truth, and temporary pleasure over eternal purpose. From the very beginning, Satan's strategy has never been about forcing anyone. He cannot force, he can only deceive. In the Garden of Eden, he didn't overpower Eve. He spoke, he suggested, he planted doubt. Did God really say that? That one question was enough to shift focus from trust in God to curiosity about disobedience, and that same strategy is still working today. People are choosing Satan not because they hate God openly, but because they are drawn to what Satan offers. And what does he offer? Freedom without responsibility, pleasure without consequence, power without accountability. He presents sin as something attractive, something harmless, something even beneficial. But here is the reality. Satan never shows the full picture. He shows the pleasure, but hides the pain. He shows the beginning, but conceals the end. God, on the other hand, speaks truth from the beginning. He sets boundaries, he calls for discipline, he asks for surrender. And for many people, that feels restrictive, it feels difficult, it feels like losing control. So they turn away, not realizing that what they see as restriction is actually protection. Another reason people drift towards Satan's path is pride. Just like Lucifer himself, pride is one of the most powerful forces that separates humans from God. It whispers, you don't need God, you can decide for yourself, you know what's best. And slowly, dependence on God is replaced with dependence on self. But the danger of pride is that it blinds. It makes people believe they are in control, even when they are being led. And Satan doesn't need to control loudly. If he can distract, confuse, and mislead, that is enough. We also live in a world that constantly normalizes sin. Things that were once considered wrong are now celebrated. Darkness is rebranded as freedom. Truth is labeled as judgment. And in this environment, choosing God often feels like going against the current. It takes strength to stand for truth in a world that rewards compromise. Many people don't reject God because they've deeply studied and disagreed. They reject him because they've been distracted. Busy lives, endless entertainment, constant noise, these things keep people from reflecting, questioning, and seeking deeper meaning. And when there is no reflection, there is no direction. Satan doesn't need everyone to worship him. If he can keep people distracted, disconnected, and spiritually asleep, he is already winning. There is also the issue of immediate gratification. God's promises are eternal, but they require patience. Growth, faith, and transformation take time. Satan's offers, however, are instant. Quick pleasure, quick success, quick satisfaction. And in a generation that values speed, waiting feels unbearable, but what is gained quickly is often lost just as quickly. Another powerful reason is misunderstanding God's nature. Many people see God as harsh, distant, or overly demanding. They focus on rules, not relationship. They see commandments, not compassion. And because of this misunderstanding, they turn away thinking they are escaping control, when in reality they are stepping into chaos. God's commands are not chains, they are guidance. They are there to lead, protect, and elevate. But when this truth is not understood, obedience feels like oppression. Satan, meanwhile, appears liberating. He tells people to follow their desires, no matter what they are. Do what makes you happy becomes the ultimate rule. But without truth as a foundation, happiness becomes unstable. It changes, it fades, and it often leads to emptiness. And that emptiness is something many people feel today, even if they don't admit it. Despite all the success, entertainment, and freedom available, there is a growing sense of dissatisfaction, a feeling that something is missing. That feeling is not accidental. It is the result of disconnecting from the very source of purpose, God. Choosing Satan's path may feel empowering at first, but it ultimately leads to confusion, emptiness, and separation from truth. But here's the most important part. This choice is not final. Every day, every moment, people are given the opportunity to choose again. God has not closed the door. He continues to call, to invite, to wait. That is something Satan can never offer, grace. Satan accuses, God forgives. Satan deceives, God reveals truth. Satan destroys, God restores. So why do people choose Satan over God Almighty? Because deception is powerful. Because pride is appealing. Because truth is challenging. And because many do not realize the weight of their choices until much later. But once you see clearly, the decision becomes different. This is not about labeling people as good or evil. It's about understanding direction. Every action, every belief, every choice moves a person either closer to God or further away. There is no neutral ground. And the good news is this: no matter how far someone has gone, the path back to God is always open. The real question is not why people choose Satan. The real question is, now that you understand the truth, what will you choose? Keep watching Inside Out.